Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dominique Brillantes. You are now listening to Radio Kapwa on CKUT 90.3 FM, where all Filipinos are Filipino enough.
All right, mabuhay everyone. This is Veronica, one of the hosts of Radio Kapwa on CKUT 90.3 FM. And we're back again, having our interviewee as usual and per our programming. And for today's episode or for today's broadcasting, we have Dominic or Dom Brillantes, the brilliant. I like how your name really kind of encompasses you. Hold on a second. Let me just go on and introduce you to our dear listeners. So, Dom is a Filipino born actor and a performer based in Toronto. There's an asterisk there, because we'll do follow up with that one. And, excited to reprise the role of Shakespeare in The Prison Dancer. So, that's something that we will talk about because that is something that I haven't been able to see, and I know some of my friends actually drove to Ottawa to see you perform. So a prison dancer at the NAC. You started acting career in 2017, sorry, staring at several independent feature films, including Pur Laine, in 2018, that won 12 awards in the Singkuwento International Film Festival in Manila. So there are a lot of other film credits, including Le Genre Couture. Whoa,
Jean
Couture.
Coutu. No, Les
Ah,
gens qui tuent.
sorry, I just got
It's
it.
all good.
And Portraits of a Family in 2023. I'm so caught off guard. He would like to thank his family. This is where you hold your trophy. Dom would like to thank his family, his friends, his loved ones for their incredible support. So, last but not least, he also would like to give his thanks and gratitude to the prison dance family for making this one the most rewarding experience of his life. We have a lot of follow up to talk about with just that bio that we kind of fished out on the website, and you were like, "Nah, it's so dumb." The floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. Hi, kamusta? My name is Dom or Dominique Brillantes. I'm an artist from Toronto, ex Montreal. I was born in the Philippines, Quezon City. Came here when I was 18 years old and 17, actually. I turned 18 here. And I never thought that I would be able to be an artist here in Montreal. So this is a blessing for me. And actually, the bio that you got, that was for prison dancer specifically. So it was really, really cool. I like that you got that one. Thank you so much for the very nice introduction. Thank you. I'm very blessed and I'm very happy to be able to be at Kapwa and be doing this for the culture. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, indeed. I mean, I know that this is not really part of our questioning, but we have Venny in the house and also Laura in the house. And I know that as artists, you're mingling sometimes and talk about your art. I know, I just want to know, sometimes you're also emceeing with Filipinos of Montreal. You were also here at Viopor a few weeks back,
Yeah.
organized by Filipinos of Montreal. And how is that coming together? What is the connection? MCing, but then singing and dancing, being an artist. You have appeared at RBC. I mean, like, did mom see that? Because everyone would be like, look at that, anak ko yan, anak ko yan. And we've seen the posters. We've seen the posters for Fizz as well. So, let us know more about your journey of, I don't even know, very multidisciplinary artist. And for those
Could take
of
off the
the younger
disciplinary in that one.
ones,
But it's a long journey, by the way. I started my first ever film that I got cast on was Pur Laine, and it was a director, Alexander Cruz. Shout out to you. He gave me an opportunity being very. I had no credit at all. I had no experience in film. I had no experience in having the camera in front of me and everything with the script. And he gave me a shot. And full circle, after a couple of years, I got to do Prison Dancer in NAC, National Arts Center, which was such a blessing. And the Fizz commercial when I was riding a banana, please don't Google that. And after that, I did Le Jonqui 2, a couple of short films, and also Portraits of a Family. But Gregory David, the film actually hasn't been released. However,
Mm.
I'm really waiting for it because it's a labor of love, especially when it's an independent film, low budget, unlike other like the Marvel, who has $200 million budget. But when you're the director and also the editor, eh, that's what it is. It takes time to create a beautiful art, create
Yeah,
beautiful
art.
art. Yeah.
Yeah, art. Like art never gets rushed, right? So, uh, and speaking of, like it sounds like over the past few years, you've accomplished a lot. But what I'm curious about is how did you get into it in the first place? Like, did you always want to be an actor, or you know, did something just pop up and you just grabbed that opportunity? Like, just yeah, let us know.
Actually, ever since I was a kid, I wanted to be an actor. And I wanted to be a comedic actor. One of my favorite comedians, if you're Filipino and you watch Filipino TV, Jano Gibbs is one of my favorite actors. Naman kasi naman eh, ano ka na naman eh. And if you know Jano Gibbs, he's Pedro Penduko, and I wanted to be in comedy, and I never really looked at other actors, and I wanted it, and so the first time I got cast into a film was a blessing because looking back now, I have the audition tape on my Google Drive and I saw it a couple of weeks ago. Oh my gosh. I
Yeah.
keep on telling my director, Alexander Cruz, why did you take me? And I guess he saw something in me that was there. And ever since I was a kid, I would mimic other voices of the TVs in the TV. I'm sorry, my English is vanishing. It's like nighttime here. My Tagalog is showing now.
Pwede rin tayo mag-Tagalog. There's no
Pwede rin
problem
naman
with
tayo
that. Pwede naman tayo
Tagalog for
mag-Tagalog.
the
Yeah.
Tagalog speaking people.
Yeah. Siyempre.
Siyempre,
Oh,
we'll do it Taglish. We'll do it Taglish.
There we go. Yeah, pwede naman.
yeah.
Yeah. Going back, what was I saying again?
How you
A
got
humbling
into it and
experience
Yeah, the
seeing
humbling
your
experience. So I would watch Dragon Ball Z and I would mimic the Tagalog. Go ahead, nasa na mga Dragon Ball. And then Mr. Bobby D is his name. It's like, ako si Master Bobby D. Ako ang tatalo kay Goku. And I would do voices like that. And I was very interested in how people behave. So actually artists and actors, they study behavior. And
Mm.
so yeah, I got interested in that, how psychology works and how our mind works, why we all different, and being able to have those emotions on deck when you need to go. Like you study real people and actors as well. So I think that's how I got into the arts. Ever since I was dancing, I was singing. Mind you, in high school, I was actually very bullied a lot.
mm,
I was bullied heavily in high school. Shout out to all my bullies. Oh, I love y'all. No, it's all
Boo.
good. It's all love. It's all love.
Boo.
Wherever you are, I hope you're there. And I was bullied. So one of my favorite artists is Usher, and that's actually how I got to learn English is by watching a lot of Usher interviews. And yeah, that's how I started in high school. And then in college I was 16 because there's only 4 years of high school in the Philippines back then. So when I was in college, I got to do physical education major in dance, and that really broadened my sphere when it comes to the arts, because my mom used to be a dancer before in Bayanihan dance troupe in the Philippines, so they would tour around the world. And I
mm,
think that's where I got my dancing genes. Yeah, that's how I pretty much started with the arts since ever since I was a kid, doing a couple of auditions when I was a kid. But my parents actually never pushed me into the arts because there's no pera, there's no
yeah.
money.
Ah.
Yeah. But you know what? All this actually explains a lot because, like I connected with you this year and I find that every single time I meet you, whether it's we do a show together or we're just like chilling, whatever, I find out something new about you as far as a new talent, right? When I first, I guess, when you first popped up on my radar, it was as in prison dancer, right? And
Yeah.
then after that, I found out you rap. And then after that, I found out you sing. And then just even last week when I saw you at the Sari Sari market, I found out you dance, right? So this all just makes sense now, like how like you intertwine everything. Plus, you know what I love is that, we were talking about how we're going to do this interview in Taglish. I find that you, in a lot of your artistic expression, you combine English and Tagalog, right? Like I think when you did the Radio Kapwa anniversary show a few weeks ago, like I think you were rapping in Tagalog.
Yeah, it was actually because it's my first language. I'm very well connected, I guess, with my Filipino roots because I believe and I think that Tagalog is such a beautiful language and there's so many words. It's so easy to actually rhyme because there's so many vowels.
Mm.
Nakakapagtaka naman ng mga ba da 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 da. So to me, when I hear a beat or something like that, I revert to writing in Tagalog before I would think about in English, unless I really think or I want to write something in English, something like that.
That is beautiful. Sorry. I also started looking at and relearning because Tagalog is also my first language. And in my personal Instagram, I actually unpack words a lot because when you unpack the words and you look for the root word, yung ugat,
Ugat.
then
Yeah.
it's like for me, I always see it as like a branch, right? So if there's like a seed, depending on what branch, magiging either kumain ka na or nakain mo na or kumakain ka pa or kakainin mo pa. Like there's just so much suffix and prefix and like in the timeline that we have, it became super specific. You know, at first before you like you the first vowel you will double that and then it will be future tense, right? But
Yeah.
then if you actually unpack the language itself, it has gotten even more precise and it just gives me a lot of comfort to know that we have had such a intricate and beautiful language, one of the beautiful language in the Philippines as well, Tagalog. And in my I'm like, kung meron lang sanang pwede sana nating aralin pa ng mas maigi. You know, like when people do French literature or English literature, I hope na sana meron mang lang Tagalog literature kasi kung talagang you take time to unpack it, you'll see how beautiful it is, and then we can do our own Shakespeare. As you say, like it
Ha,
rhymes
Shakespeare.
so much, di ba? Yung pananalita, tapos napaka daming hugot.
We do have that in the
We have so much
Philippines.
hugot.
Our
It
first
tugs.
flip top in the Philippines. Flip top is a rap battle in the Philippines. It's called balagtasan. So
Yes.
when people back then didn't, it's pretty much rap, but in just poem.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. So they would battle with poems,
Mm.
and that's called balagtasan. And speaking about speaking about Shakespeare, going back to what you were saying earlier about the prison dancer, that you didn't get to see, and I hope
Yet.
they bring it back here in Canada.
Mm.
Sorry, I was just lost in thought. I'm so sorry, but yeah, going back to Shakespeare and how I got to be able to be on stage as well. It was very very beautiful, and it's the first Filipino Canadian musical that's ever been on stage, on professional stage. And that was from top to bottom Filipino. If we're talking about Filipino pride, this is
Yep.
like the highest and it's like my greatest accomplishment as an actor because I didn't really think that I would be on stage doing theater because I was really afraid of forgetting all the lines, which I did every night. And there's not a perfect show. There's not a perfect show. And from top to bottom, from the director, creative director, musical director, the actors, the producers are all Filipino.
Yep.
And so I'm so blessed to be a part of Prison Dancer. Shout out to all. Shout out to Romeo Candido and
Yep. Romeo.
Doña Carmen. Let's go. The writers of Prison Dancer. It's 12 years in the making. 12 years in the making.
But you've been talking about prison dance a lot. But for those who are non-Filipino listening to us right now, can you give us a brief of what's the significance of this musical and like where did it come from and a brief history of it?
There was a line I remember in the show, and it's not a spoiler, and they might change the script as well. In the ancient times, before the TikToks and the Instagrams, there was a little known website called YouTube. And on this YouTube website, there was a viral video of prisoners in the Philippines, hundreds of prisoners in the Philippines dancing to Thriller, Michael Jackson songs. And it's one of the first viral videos in the world. Millions of views before YouTube really popped up. And it was inspired by that. And Romeo Candido went to the Philippines and he researched about that and he was like, no one's making a musical. I will make a musical out of this because it's such a beautiful story with a very diverse characters. And it pretty much is the message of Prison Dancer is you are not who you are today. You're not what you've done. You can always change and there's always hope. And it's pretty much that at the end of the day. A lot of people were saying that they were inspired by it because it's very freeing. No spoilers, but
Hmm.
okay, we can cut that out.
No, I mean, let's not cut that out. I think it's beautiful. You know, one of the three pillars of Sant Kapwa is through art, movement, and conversation. And prison dance, you saying that like it gives them hope and it inspired them, is actually a good way to connect it to movements and how people can heal and actually confront their actions, right? And I've also watched that viral video of YouTube,
Yeah.
and it was very first of all, it's like uy Philippines, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
uy, Philippines, oh,
going
Philippines.
viral at on YouTube for something that is like prisoner dancing, it really conflicted you from being like proud to be Pinoy, but also like what we're highlighting prisoners now, but also they're like super in sync and like Michael Jackson dancing with Thriller.
Yeah.
So it was like definitely a lot of mixed feelings, but through arts, you know, dancing is a form of art, through movement. And because of that dance, it creates a lot of conversations that like it humanize prisoners, right? That they are repenting on their actions and their actions shouldn't be painting who they are.
Yeah.
And
Dancing
Yeah.
so
was a form of what do you call this word? What's that word? Dancing was a form of when you're in jail, you have to not repent, but
physical activity,
no, what is the
no?
word? It's losing my brain right now. It's walking away from
Oh,
my mind.
rec-
It's a
a
form of
recreation.
no, not
Prison.
recreation. It's like healing to them. So
Hmm.
instead of them averting to violence and just beating up people in prison,
Yeah.
one of the wardens, his name is Byron Garcia. He's he's like, why don't we do this as a form of military discipline instead of you guys fighting and killing each other? Why don't we do this as an exercise and as a disciplinary thing to be able
Yeah.
to go on a straight path and become better people,
Yeah. I
right?
think I think I know the word that you were looking for earlier.
Rehabilitation. There you go.
Rehabilitation. Yeah.
Rehabilitation.
Yeah.
Dancing in the form of rehabilitation. So you could see that in the show as well. The
Yeah.
show is not as accurate as because it's inspired by real people. However, the story was created by the writers.
Hmm. You know what? I love to hear this because, like, obviously, like I said earlier, like when we were talking about Taglish and all that, like I find you're somebody who's very connected to, like, the Philippines and like like our struggles and our stories. So, with that said, I do want to ask you, on a personal level, was there ever a time you have, uh, were you ever made to feel not Filipino enough?
Mm, I don't think so. Because ever since I came here, I was so Filipino that during summer, I'm like, I can't wait to wear polo shirt with jeans and chinelas. I would play with ballers out here in chinelas and
Hmm.
shorts. That's how Filipino I was. And I listened to OPM. every day almost. I listened to OPM every day almost. And I was really connected because I was blessed when I came here. I was connected to the Filipinos in Montreal already. My
Mm,
mom used to shout out to Salingawi, Salingawi
Oh.
Montreal folk dancing group, and she used to teach them dance,
Mm.
and I was a part of that. And almost until now, almost all my friends are Filipino, and yeah, I don't think I've been told something like that because maybe because I speak Tagalog or something like that, but I've never felt not Filipino at all, which
that's
is a
actually,
blessing because I
yeah,
know some
exactly.
people. I know some people who experience differently, like, oh, you're not Filipino because you don't speak Tagalog. To be honest with you, I used to think that, but no, you're Filipino through and through. It doesn't matter if you don't speak Tagalog at all, right? Yeah.
Yeah, you know what, I love to hear that from you because, you know, we like to say at Santa Capua that Filipinos are not a monolith, right? So it's good to also it's good to see that like the fact that you've never felt that there is some progress, right? Because yeah, usually we do have guests who have felt that in the past, but there have been other guests who haven't, right? And at the end of the day, we want to get to a point where we don't even have to ask that question anymore because you know it's just not an issue anymore, right? So the more Filipinos we have on the show that actually just haven't felt that anymore, the better it is. Also, like you said, you've been very integrated with the Filipinos here. You said all of your friends are Filipino. So what I want to ask you too is, what does the word kapwa mean to you?
Mhm. So the word kapwa to me or kapwa tao is pretty much being amongst your anybody. It doesn't matter if you're Filipino. You could be my kapwa. Kapwa tao is your same as me. We bleed, we eat, we get sick, we get angry, we get sad, happy. We're all kapwa. So all your non-Filipino friends, you can call them. These are my kapwa. These are my friends, and we're all the same.
Damn.
Um,
Yeah, that to me
well,
was kapwa. I hope
yeah,
I
yeah,
answered that. I hope
That
I
was a good
answered
one.
that correct. Well,
yeah,
I hope, yeah.
yeah, yeah. We were left speechless for a bit, so that's always a good sign. So.
Yeah, because some words in Tagalog you can't translate to English. However, there are words in Tagalog that is very international, or I would say, how do I say that? It's very
Accessible
general to a lot
or
of people.
universal. Yeah.
Universal. That's see. I
Yeah.
don't know why my brain is not working today, but yeah, to me
Yeah.
that's Kapwa, and I love being and but by the way, before we end this, I just like to thank you guys because it's such a great opportunity to be interviewed by you guys. And Kapwa, San Kapwa has been doing this for a long time. Being able to attend the second year anniversary of Kapwa, let's go and keep going strong. And I love what you guys do because it's our time. I mean, Filipinos has been popping since forever. We can dance, we can sing, we're nurses. Canada, by the way, is 90% Filipino nurses in Canada.
Oh yeah,
Oh
I would
yeah,
believe
I
that.
would
I
90%.
would believe that.
I
Yeah.
heard
I
that
would believe that.
somewhere. And it's amazing because we have so much talent, so many great people, and a lot of people that I've heard from videos on YouTube and Instagram. I'm like, oh, you got to go to the Philippines. If there's a place that you must visit, it's the Philippines because no matter if you're poor, you don't have money, people smile. And there's some certain contentment and happiness and joy that we still have as Filipinos, no matter where we are. OFW is all around the world, right? And so to me, that's very, very special. And we get to share our skills, our talents, because our talents, it's actually not for us.
Mm,
It's for other people to be inspired. That's why we show our talent because we want to show them and be able to inspire other people as well,
yeah.
especially Filipinos who are very scared to do arts, going back to the arts, it's a lot of struggle, a lot of rejections, a lot of no's. But don't be afraid because there's so much space for us, especially for Filipinos, and we're being recognized now internationally more than before. We have Olivia Rodrigo, Bruno Mars, John Briones, one of my favorite actors, Dominique Brilliant. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking.
I
Knock
mean,
on wood, though. Knock on wood. Knock on wood.
manifestation, but
Manifestation.
that's very interesting to hear as well because like you said, we're well, you didn't say it, I'm saying it, third largest immigrant community here in Canada, but actually also in the States, right? I know in the States, the Filipino community is much stronger. It goes like all the way to like fourth, fifth generation.
Yeah.
And so the film industry there, where Filipinos are stronger. And it's nice to hear that in Canada, it's we're getting more and more recognition. We have in the States right now, Hello Love
Hello,
Again.
love.
Hello
Who's
Love
in that?
Again has dominated an eighth place in the
Oh,
States, which
KB.
a Filipino movie. So that tells you how much Filipinos love the film industry and the entertainment industry in general. So yes, we do hope for Dominic Brillantes to be part of the posters as well. And then we could go to like Cineplex or something and then see you
I
there.
hope so too. Because in terms of international films for the Philippines, one of my actually favorite actors that I watch and study is Jericho Rosales.
Mm.
Um, he's been blessed to do international films. He met Jada Pinkett Smith through Alagua, which was a movie about human trafficking. If you haven't seen it, I think that you should see this film. It's a beautiful film. You'll cry in the end. I've cried every time I watched it. He done a lot of different international films as well. And in Canada, there's so many Filipino actors that are popping. Filipino directors, Filipino writers, both theater and film that we don't know of, but we're so
They
talented
exist.
that
They're
we're just
there.
everywhere. We just don't
Yeah,
ever know, right? There's
they
actually
exist.
a is it a country or somewhere in the world they have 1,000 people in their town and there's a Filipino family. I'm like, how did you guys get there? But
Hmm.
hey, we're international.
Yeah.
We should get that pitbull line Filipinos worldwide, right? We're worldwide. Filipinos are worldwide.
Yep, yep.
Well, as much as I have so much talking points here that I want to tackle, but unfortunately we're running out of time.
Oh man, it's
And
so quick.
Yeah.
so
Well, that
I
just means
know
we got to
it's
have Dom on
a
again.
second
So
one.
Oh, please, I would
Yeah.
love to, and I'll be more way prepared than
Nah,
today.
we
nah,
want you to come as you are. No preparation needed, no stress needed. You just be you. That's what we want people to come in here. They just be them, and then we let people know that yeah, we're still Filipino enough. Look at us. We're not monoliths.
That's
There you
right.
go.
Thank you, guys. You
So,
guys are so nice and
oh,
talented. I mean, shout out to Fenny, by the way, dude. I really respect you as an artist and the passion that you put out. Was when you wrote that poem? Was it 2 weeks ago? That was
yeah, it was the night before.
it
Sorry,
was.
sorry, Market. Yeah,
Okay, don't brag now. Don't brag now.
insane. Insane.
But that was amazing. I didn't record because I was listening intently,
yeah,
especially with no music as well. And I hope that us Filipinos, before we, I guess this is my parting message before we end this podcast. I hope we stick together like rice, because what do you call that? You can break a stick, one stick, right? But if you put all the sticks together and you try to break them, it's
mm,
unbreakable. Although there's a lot of politics around the Filipino community, but I think that we can find that middle ground where we can all be together
yeah,
and thrive as Filipinos and be happy for each other. There's always going to be competition, but your competition is yourself, no one else. You dance for you, you sing for you, write for you, And hopefully, the love that you have for your craft will be reciprocated by the other people that would hear and see your craft. Yeah.
Amen.
Well,
Bomb
then,
bomb. Yep.
there you have it, everyone. That's Dom Brillantes for you. Dom, where can we find you? Or where maybe someone's listening to us right now and then they really are like enamored with your voice.
Wow,
And so,
enamored.
enamored, di ba?
Enamored? Namor Station?
Enamored. And so, drop your information. So maybe you'll get a call, an email, or a DM for those
Yes,
who's
shout outs to all
interested.
the directors out there and casting agents. I'm playing, I'm playing. My address is 55. If you really want to find me. But they can find me on Instagram at D0MZONE. That's Dom Zone. D0MZONE. Yeah, that's my most used platform, I would say.
All right. Well, then, this is Radyo Kapwa on CKUT 90.3 FM. We'll see you next week, Wednesday, 2 to 3 p.m. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah. Let's go. Yeah. It's the finals. Ilang segundo na lang ang natitira at lamang kami mga idol. Hawak nila ang bola ano, pero hindi nila alam lahat ng aking pinaplano. Dito na kung crossover, biglang pinasa dun sa 3-pointer sa my corner. Nang mala MJ na pumeke, dila it's over. Nagbasar bitter pag-release, sabay sigaw agad wala. Butata! Watashi wasta Play repinete, vakimus pag-asa 1, 2, 3, walang mintes mababas Kataasin mga blood vessel, di mo mababasa Like wow, tanghaling tapat lagi nagbibilad Kita na yung sando kahit bawbad Ang kapaguran kahit pa nababad Di magmalapit, basta ka agad Kasi ako alagad Wala na tong atrasan, delics, tikit lang ang laban At kung usapang sabayan, lalamon ko pang bigasa Sa dami ko nang naiwan, wala nang dapat patunayan Nung nga lang nagkainitan, tas biglang nag-flank kalaban Charging, number 14! Malas pa na turn over Biglang tinawag ako ni Coach sa my corner Nung pag ginagawa mo Silang got it's not over Nagbasar bitter, mabilis na sumabay Sigaw madlas Putata! 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 Hoy, yun ang inakala mo Sa ko laging malagori ito Matuto kang na respeto Namin ko na isapak sa pagmumukha mo Putata!
If we run into eternity tonight, into the next lifetime, would you recognize me? Would you recognize me? If we ran into each other in the light, into the next lifetime, would you recognize me? Would you recognize me? Worlds apart, feeling like we worlds apart. I search for you in your heart.
I'm looking for the moment, trying to see you in the morning hour. Slowly get reminded that I gotta find and get to know you again. You a different woman, I swear I can't ever leave you behind. Even with the world burning, I can only see the fire in your eyes. Baby, what's love? If forever was a part of the cause and death can't do us apart. Tell me what's love? If I lose you beyond all the stars, but I find you, could we restart?
If we run into eternity tonight, into the next lifetime, would you recognize me? Would you recognize me? If we ran into each other in the light, into the next lifetime, would you recognize me? Would you recognize me?
Magandang hapon sa inyong lahat. Si Laura ito at nandito na ako sa Pilipinas! That's Tagalog for good afternoon to you all. This is Laura and I am now in the Philippines. If you hear what I hear in my background, that's the endless sound of roosters, conversation between neighbors in the barangay, tricycles taking people to their destinations, and music playing on a loudspeaker. This is what home sounds like for a lot of us here in the Philippines. I'd love to give a big thank you to Dominique Brillantes for joining us on the show and for giving Radyo Kapwa his first ever interview. To many, many more as you get more and more recognition for your amazing work. Also, a shout out to Alan Matudio for letting me use his room in his barangay to pre-record this segment for y'all. This is episode 124 of Radyo Kapwa, and this is your weekly news from the Philippines, this time literally coming to you from the Philippines. This article is from Rappler, titled #Ambag Natin, Batangas, How Informed Voters Can Fight Patronage Politics. Written by Ayla de la Cruz. In the Batangas leg of the #Ambag Natin roadshow, panelists highlight how a well-informed and critical citizenry can end patronage politics and help fight disinformation in the upcoming 2025 elections. Batangas, Philippines. Journalists, together with representatives from the academy and the government, spoke about how a well-informed and critical citizenry can fight patronage politics and disinformation this 2025 national and local elections during the #Ambag Natin roadshow in Lipa City, Batangas, last November 28th. Batangas' Sangguniang Kabataan Federation President Voltaire Adrian Pua said political dynasties can end by voting wisely, urging the youth to assess the development in their cities and hometowns. Just because politicians give us assistance or scholarships doesn't mean it is enough. When it comes to voting correctly, it is good to look for transparency. How were the funds used? How is it utilized? Was it properly utilized? Pua said in Filipino. There has to be a plan. I think that is what needs to be discussed. But we also have to ask the candidates if we want to know. Because if no one asks, if we're okay with their singing and dancing on stage, then they won't bother telling us. Ganzon Ozeta said in Filipino. Erlinda Candy Orense of the Commission on Elections, COMELEC, in Lipa City said the key for a discerning electorate is voter education. There must be generational change regarding our perception of elections and the government and public service. So we really have to educate our electorate, Orense said, highlighting this cannot be done overnight nor in one election. Maligaya recognized the initiative of various academic institutions regarding voter education, but said that there should be more comprehensive and bolder steps for all academic institutions to have a collaborative effort on voter education. Panelists also identified disinformation as one of the main challenges of this election. Ganzon Ozeta said she expects a more active online campaign on social media after the holidays to May 2025, which may make it more challenging for the media to verify which is true and which is fake. Maligaya, on the other hand, pointed out how the rise of artificial intelligence, AI-generated content, can affect the election, especially those living in far-flung areas, whom he described as vulnerable to disinformation online. So once they get disinformed through AI-generated posting, a lot will follow. They would rely on those generated postings, and they don't have time to discuss with other people. It is like gossip that spreads, Maligaya said in Filipino. This article was published on December 3rd, 2024 via Rappler. As always, if you would like to access the entirety of this article, you will find the links within this episode's descriptions, both on YouTube and on the CKUT website. You may also search for them directly on the Rappler official website, rappler.com. Fun fact, both interviewees from this week's episode, both Fanny and Vero, who is also the host of Lahat Konektado, share the same birthday. So please go wish them a very beautiful and joyous revolution around the sun. We love you both so much. Radyo Kapwa would absolutely not be the same without your care and love and work. Thank you for listening. Maraming salamat sa pakikinig. Again, this is Laura with news on the Philippines from the Philippines.
Tumalon sa kinatatayuan, damdaming di mo masabi ay hayaan lang. Hayaan mong tumaya sa atin man lang, hindi malalaman kung di titignan. Paano nga ba kasi masasabi kung mahal na kita? Umiingay ba dapat ang paligid sa sobrang kaba? Kahit di sigurado ay ang alam ko, eto na talaga. Di mapigilan, bugso ng damdamin, sa'yo lang nadarama. Di na mapigilan pa, ganon din ba sa'yo? Ganon din ba sa'yo? Tumalon sa kinatatayuan, damdaming di mo masabi ay hayaan na lang. Hayaan mong tumaya sa atin man lang, hindi malalaman kung di titignan. Kung kulay din ba ang langit sa'yo pag ako ang kasama? Nais kong malaman kasi pag ikaw ang tanaw ko, ang kulay mas sumisigla. Para ba akong nabingi at muling nakarinig ng awitin? Bigla-bigla na lang pumikit ang mata, ikaw nang tanawin, di makakaya. Di ka para sa'kin, di makakaya. Di ka maging akin, ganon din ba sa'yo? Ganon din ba sa'yo? Tumalon sa kinatatayuan, damdaming di mo masabi ay hayaan na lang. Hayaan mong tumaya sa atin man lang, hindi malalaman kung di titignan. Tumalon sa kinatatayuan, damdaming di mo masabi ay hayaan na lang. Hayaan mong tumaya sa atin man lang, hindi malalaman kung di titignan.
Welcome back. Bienvenue et salutu. This is Fanny Cristo, and if you are just tuning in, you are listening to Radio Kapwa on 90.3 FM CKUT. We are the only radio source in the greater Montreal area for news, interviews, and music about the Philippine ex-diaspora, running every Wednesday from 2 to 3 p.m. Right now, we are nearing the end of our broadcast, but before we say au revoir, we're going to get into the final segment as we talk about the events and community announcements happening locally. So, comme je dis toujours, trouvez un stylo et des papiers or open your calendar app, and on y va. And the first thing we're going to talk about is this Friday, December 13th, from 7 p.m. at Pur Concordia. You can join Singkuwento Cooperative for an evening of community, conversation, and connection as they explore the rich legacy of Black farming traditions and sustainable agriculture. They are presenting a documentary screening of farming while Black and a fundraiser. Let them know you're interested by checking out their Instagram page at singkuwento.cooperative. And then the next day, Saturday, December 14th, from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. at Centre Culturel Georges Vanier. Through a joint partnership with Destabin and BMHC MTL, Black Joy Sundays will offer a safer space for members of the Black community to navigate their mental, physical, and emotional health and cope with everyday stressors in their lives through different activities and healing modalities. This mini retreat is reserved for members of the African diaspora communities. To save your spot, visit their Instagram page, visit their Instagram pages, Destabin and _AUK5 for more info. Following that, for the Sunday, December 15, starting at 1 p.m. ending at 6 p.m. at Brick Par Brick, you can join Park X Mutual Aid and Curry Collective for a celebratory end-of-year market where they will be selling baked goods to raise funds for their program, Park Exchange. There will be local vendors selling meals, snacks, crafts, and even some karaoke. If you are interested, visit their Instagram pages at Brick X Brick and Park X Curry Collective. Finally, this event is actually brought to you from us at Singkuwento Kapwa, Friday, December 20 from 4 p.m. at Shift Concordia. You can join us in celebrating the holidays and be part of Singkuwento Kapwa's third annual pearl making workshop. A pearl is a craft resembling a star-shaped lantern for Filipinx, making pearls and hanging them outside their windows, symbolizing the victory of light over darkness, as well as their shared expressions of faith, hope, and goodwill during the holiday season. First come, first serve basis for the first 30 people to register for this event. The workshop is facilitated by Deanne C. Nardo and Zion Axel, members of Ka Collective, artists of Singkuwento Kapwa. To save your spot, visit our Instagram page at Singkuwento Kapwa _MTL. And that's a new Instagram page, by the way, so make sure you follow this one, Singkuwento Kapwa _MTL. And then finally, from January 25 to March 8, 2025, yes, we going into the new year, from Maison de la Jeunesse and Zoom, you can join a series of 5 free workshops with DJ Fly Lady Die to learn the basics, sharpen your skills, and embrace the DJ mindset. No matter your experience level, it is a free workshop upon registration, open to all skill levels from ages 12 and up. You can bring your DJ controller and equipment if you have. To register, you can visit their Instagram pages at Fly Lady Die, Festival Access Azi, and Tangent Dance. I'm actually registered for this one, so if you sign up, we'll be seeing each other. So say what's up. So yeah, anyway, that's about it for the community announcements. This has been Fenny Cristo, and we are about to get up out of here. But for all of our listeners, I hope you'll have an amazing rest of the day, and it's also around the time a lot of us are going to be going to holiday parties and gatherings. So remember, have fun, drink responsibly, and catch y'all next week. Same time and station, Wednesday, 2 to 3 p.m. on 90.3 FM CKUT. Au revoir.
Magandang hapon mga kababayan. Nakikinig kayo ngayon sa Radyo Kapwa, CKUT 90.3 FM, where all Filipinos are Filipino enough. Liberation for one is liberation for us all. Tuloy ang laban.